how would you like to reverse aging? Instead of growing older, grow younger. Does it sound like the fountain of youth? Well, it certainly does. And people have thought about that since Ponce de Leon was searching for it. But now science may have found that answer. You see, the answer lies in telomeres, something you probably never heard of before. In fact, science really didn't know what telomeres did, but they're the tips on the ends of chromosomes, and they actually regulate the duplication rate of cells. And they're so important to our life. So research has been going on, and just 2 years ago, a Nobel Prize in medicine was given for the research that was done in telomeres. And scientists think this literally might be the fountain of youth. Here's how it works. Telomeres regulate the duplications of our cells. And we have, in our lifetime, according to the genetics that we get from mom and dad, our cells will divide somewhere around 45 to 60 times. Now, those are the stem cells. They're like the mother cells that are creating all the cells that replenish our body. And you see, from conception, when the sperm and the egg come together, of course, there's only one cell, but it has about 15,000 telomere units. And as the baby develops up to birth, 5,000 of those are gone. A third of them are gone by birth. So then for the rest of your life, scientists theorize that you've only got about 5,000 left to go. And every time a cell divides, or with oxidation damage too, they deteriorate the telomere units. And so they go down, 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 so less cells are being produced to replenish those in your body. Now, when a baby's born, it has about, say 10 trillion cells within it, and then an adult has maybe 100 trillion cells within the body. So it's a big job with all the organs and systems and everything for our stem cells to keep producing those cells to replenish our system. But when we're 25 to perhaps 30, it's doing a pretty good job. But the analogy is a lot like a beehive. You see, in a beehive, there's a queen bee, and she just spits out eggs like there's only one, and she spits out eggs like crazy because there's about 100,000 bees in a hive, and those bees only live about 6 to 8 weeks, and then they die. So a lot of eggs have got to be produced, and over a period of time, the queen starts getting older. And as she gets older, then those egg levels go down and down and down, and the size of the hive shrinks until the queen dies, where she can no longer produce enough. Well, telomeres are much the same, because the telomeres, which are on the tips of the chromosomes, they actually read the chromosomes when it's time to divide, and so they mirror each other so they can split, and you still have the new cells that are the same as the old cells. That's the way it works. But over a period of our lifetime, if from birth, where we have about 10,000 units, if you see it going down, 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 you get to a certain point in life where you've emaciated. Your muscles have gone down, your eyesight is getting poor, you're getting gray hair, brain function is starting to deteriorate, all of those things, bones, because you're not producing enough cells. Now, granted, environment and nutrition are big factors in that. In fact, as Aubrey de Grey, the world's leading researcher in longevity, says, aging is about 90% environment and about 10% genetics. Well, if it is, we can do a lot about that. But the genetics we have actually allow us to live about twice as long as we do on an average lifespan. Now they've mapped the human genome. They said you should live to be 125 to 150, depending on what your parents gave you. But the problem is we age very fast because we don't have proper nutrition, we have environmental attack, and we deteriorate quite quickly. So if we can address those environmental issues, then we should be able to live a lot longer. Now, the beautiful thing is the Food and Drug Administration says aging is not a disease. It's just a condition which comes on with time. But it doesn't have to come on. In fact, they just surveyed people that are over 100, and they found they had very high levels of telomere units with it. And they didn't contract a number of the diseases, of course, that other people do at younger age, that they're dying in their 70s or so, because they're so much healthier, we think. That's the theory of it, of course. And this is still a theory of telomere science, because up to about 5 or 6 years ago, they really didn't even know what telomeres did. Now they know that they're absolutely vital for supporting revitalization within your body. So this new science looked into the support of telomeres and found there are some compounds that are extremely powerful for doing that. And here at Sisel, we researched the research, and we found those compounds that science found were so powerful and so great, and we brought out a new product called TSX. It's a remarkable product, and it uses science in concentrated extracts from an herb, astragalus, in China, and another from India called bacapa, and those two extracts are unique, bacicides and astragalosides, and they're very expensive because it takes about 6,000 pounds of astragalus to yield just a small amount of astragalosides. But because we manufacture the products we sell, unlike most companies, especially in network marketing, we have a low cost of manufacture, and we're debt-free. We own everything, and we're not a public company, so we have no dividends to pay out or any of those. So we are the low-cost manufacturer, so we can take these extremely concentrated, very powerful, effective ingredients and put them into a massive formulation to give intense support to the telomeres. And so what we think will happen is spectacular results for people. But in animal studies, they've taken aged animals and they've been able to give intense support to the telomeres, and they've seen the ones that they have given it to have become young again. Things like brain size, which is reduced maybe 20-25% as they get to be very old, comes back to its normal size, and the functions of it are the same. And hair that's gotten thin and gray comes back thick and with its natural color. And skin and muscle tone and all of those things are coming back. Why? Because there's massive support for the telomeres. Now, out of science, they found some ingredients that can also give massive support to telomeres, and we've taken those and concentrated them and put them in this formulation. So at Sisel, we believe there's going to be spectacular results happening to you in your life, just like minerals and calcium support building bones, and protein supports building muscle. Well, the ingredients we have support telomeres. And so if you can support telomeres, so instead of going down, 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 they're supported and they're producing lots of new cells, what are you going to be? Well, the older you get, maybe the younger you are getting, literally growing younger as you live longer with substantial improvements. We're looking, although it's a theory right now, we're looking at things to happen with thinking and physical condition and skin and hair and eyes, the kinds of things that you've dreamed of, we think now are possible, and we're going to find out. And the people that we've been using it on are already reporting great results with it. However, those are not clinical studies, and so they're anecdotal, and you'll have to try it yourself to see. But we believe if you start in this program, somewhere about 5 to 6 months, you're going to see visible things happening to you that you're going to be aware of. Maybe it's a look in your skin and your hair, or energy, or those things. All those potentials lie there because this is the single greatest discovery, I believe, and others do, in the history of human health. And so as you support telomeres, scientists says there's only one other thing that's necessary. Well, not one, but one other major thing that's necessary, and that is to support sirtuin genes. Those are the genes that really grew you, that produce tremendous amounts of regeneration and activity and that, and they need support too. And Harvard University has tested them extensively, and they've also tested telomere support, and out of that they've made some spectacular claims on a formula they developed. Now, our formula is not theirs. We think we have a tremendous formulation in a product called Eternity to support the sirtuin activity within your body. Yeah, you can do calorie restriction, you can starve yourself, and sirtuin activity increases, but there's a nutritional way to do that, and we have provided that in Eternity to support those forces of regeneration. And with the telomeres, we have this TSX formulation that is so powerful, so concentrated, beyond anything that we have ever seen, that it's a 1-2 combination to growing younger as you live longer, literally reversing the aging process. That's the theory that we're working on. We'd like to see people that get to a certain age to be in their 40s forever. I mean, how would you like that? How would you like to be 60, 70 years old, chronological age, and your biological age or activity could be 40s forever? Or if you started younger, maybe 30s forever. That potential exists, and we believe there's a great chance of achieving that.